Good morning, everybody. I know I changed the time from lunchtime to breakfast time, and seeing everybody blurry-eyed this morning, I'm not sure that was such a very good idea, but I will do my best to keep you awake during my speech. So I want to thank Bobby Spillane for the introduction. I also want to say that here in Worcester, you are blessed with a great delegation. Your delegation, both House and Senate, are very hardworking, very capable people, and people who don't forget that they have to bring home the best legislation that will help us here in central Massachusetts and Worcester. So they have done that tremendously, fighting for you. And someone else who also fights for you, a good friend of mine, your Lieutenant Governor, is here from Worcester, and he is, believe me, always doing the best he can to make sure that Worcester is in the forefront of any of our leadership discussions. So he's always fighting for you. It really is an honor to be here at this forum and part of this timely energy summit. As we gather here today, our economic future is uncertain, and the fallout from the credit crisis on Wall Street is now hitting all levels of government, including state government, in every aspect of our Main Street economy. Although the current economic crisis was caused primarily by underlying problems in the housing and mortgage markets, as you all know, the cost of energy and our continued dependence on foreign imports remains one of the most significant long-term concerns at both the state and national level, and is a problem we actually can no longer ignore. There is no doubt that the price of gasoline and home heating oil is squeezing every family and every business in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. But the rising cost of fossil fuels and the necessity to develop alternative energy sources are not new problems. This country has faced an energy crisis for decades. And for far too long, we have looked into the federal government for dramatic and systematic solutions to change the way we produce and consume energy in this country, only to fall prey to a lack of national leadership. We, in Massachusetts, in the legislature, and specifically in the Massachusetts House of Representatives, have heard the concerns loud and clear, and since I became Speaker, we have addressed the energy crisis head-on. Since 2002, as you've heard many times, the price of a barrel of oil has climbed steadily, from around $30 a barrel, way over $100 recently, and now, only because of the economic uncertainties, down, as you heard, to a little less than $89 a barrel. We have known for more than a decade that our reliance on oil, gas, and coal was not sustainable either economically or environmentally. In Massachusetts, the fact that we are at the end of every pipeline for conventional energy means that the cost of electricity in Massachusetts and New England is much higher than elsewhere in the country and causes great financial hardships for its consumers. These strains make it more difficult to live here, to raise a family here, to work here, and as many of you in this audience know best, to maintain and grow a business here. Survey after survey everywhere I've gone, businesses, owners, large and small, have shown us that that energy costs are a great inhibitor for doing business here in our state. And those costs limits government's ability to help as well, both on the state and local level. So I quickly understood that, as is often the case, the states must lead in developing a roadmap to resolve our energy problems, and in a meaningful and a very lasting way. So at the start of last legislative session, I let it be known that we in the House would not sit idly and wait for solutions from Washington, D.C. So I and my colleagues took action. We all were being offered, the only thing we were offered nationally was inaction. We had no time to waste. I believe, and still believe, we need to address these issues Otherwise, we will face a serious energy crisis. Recognizing this, that we faced a crisis, the depletion of our conventional energy-producing resources, and the threat of climate change, we needed to take action. So I brought together groups of diverse stakeholders, from businesses and the energy and environmental community, tried to develop a comprehensive strategy to change the way we in the Commonwealth consume and produce energy. Our first effort was to grapple with the size and scope of the problem. Through my work with members of the business and environmental community, I was able to craft the landmark energy legislation called the Green Communities Act, which is built upon the foundation of thinking globally while acting locally. Our goals were clear: develop a legislative and regulatory framework for the Commonwealth to allow renewable and alternative energy to flourish and grow, reduce our dependence on imports, and to help lower the cost of energy over time. At its core, the Green Communities Act, together with the Green Jobs Act and the advanced biofuels legislation we passed this year, is an effort to provide the structure and incentives to fundamentally change the way we produce and consume energy here in Massachusetts. We know that if we unleash the potential of the green economy here in Massachusetts, with our brains and our brawn, we will be a leader in developing and implementing a new energy paradigm that will be a roadmap for other states and the federal government to follow.